One of the things I disliked the most was I hated when they said, when they passed word down, no quarter. I hated that. And I hated fixed bayonets. It gave me the creeps. Never liked it. Never, never liked it. You know, uh, the worst was probably hand-to-hand combat, where you're standing right next to a guy. You can smell him and everything.
And you experienced that yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we were usually bigger. We were usually bigger than the NVA, though. You found some bigger NVA, but not as a rule. They were pretty smaller. We'd pass other companies on the trail. They're going one way, we're going the other way, and everybody starts shooting the shit. And about like, hey, we got a couple big guys down the road here. We think they're Chinese. They're at least like 6'2" or something like that. And they pass word back and forth like that, you
You mean
know.
bodies?
Yeah,
Their
dead,
bodies.
killed. That's how they measured them.
Um, so I mean, this question is a prying question, but my motivation isn't to pry. It's to, I don't know how to just try to get into your experience. Hand to hand, I don't know how many hand to hand fights you had, but whichever one you were just referring to, how did that unfold? Is it just you're going down a trail and all of a sudden an NVA is there and boom, or he attacks you, or
On
how did that unfold?
Union Two, we had walked into this ambush, and we were right up by the first platoon was right up by the head of the ambush. So we had people firing it from both sides and from the front. Um, they tried to come out of the tree line and stuff a couple times to get to us, but they couldn't get to us. Then finally, like the third time, they got to us. And then what are you going to do? You just stand up and you know start like I had a pistol. Most guys, the entrenching tool was a popular weapon.
Yeah.
Um, Knives, everybody's parents were sending them like a Goodwill package from mom and dad, like another 45 pistol or a Luger or whatever. The parents would send you all these weapons and stuff, keep their keep their boys safe, you know, shotguns. Uh, but I think more when I got in and on Union 2, it was more up close because I was up close to within if I took a big giant step forward, I could touch these guys, but other guys didn't have a pistol like I did. Thank my lucky stars for that. And they were using entrenching tools, knives, whatever they could, whatever they could. Um, a second time was there was only two times. Union 2 was the first time. The second time was Swift. So we were on the we were at 51, um, but there was only two platoons. One of the platoons was someplace else, and I have no idea where. But so we were only two platoons, and word came down in the early afternoon that they wanted us to proceed to this village and show the flag because they were having elections the next day. And they weren't national elections, so maybe they were provincial or something else. Uh, but we went out And we didn't take any sniper fire. You know, we usually always took sniper fire, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Um, and we settled in to night to a defensive perimeter for the night. Uh, Nothing had been happening for for so long that I don't think anybody slacked. Some of us might have not dug our holes quite as deep as we ordinarily might have. And about 4 o'clock or something like that, they start up with the whistles and the bugles. That's another thing that drove me insane. That made my skin crawl. They started blowing these whistles and then their little trumpets and everything like that, which is signals for different elements to move here, move there, that kind of that. And then the next thing you know, we must have had two platoons with less than 100 guys, less than 100 guys. And all of a sudden, like they just swarmed us, just swarmed us. They came out of, they just came out of the woods and just like ran right through us, like in one side out the other, and then we started up with the hand to hand, hand to hand again. We got our company commander was killed right at the start. Um,
And at this time, you're using your pistols again?
no, they took my pistol away from me after Union 2. So I felt kind of naked without that, even though I didn't use it. When I needed it, it really came through in the clutch. Um, yeah, so I just had my 16, uh, my 40, not 45, and my two knives, my Gerber and my K-bar, Marine combat knife. Um, and then they were just all around us, all around us. They called for Mike Company to come off of 51. This was only like a mile and a half away or something. They were right in our backyard. And Mike came up in the minute or the second they tied into our lines, they were overrun and they were assaulted, surrounded, and partially overrun too. And now this stuff went on for a long time until I think a couple of companies from 3-5, I think they dropped Mike and Kilo from 3-5. And then they really fell into it too. Mike company was Father Capodanno was the Maryknoll missionary from New York who got killed, and he got killed with Mike company. Back talking casualties, when we're on Union 2, we got, when I read it in some books, our casualties from Delta, it just says like 20 some. I think we were higher than that. So they were counting incorrectly sometimes the other way, not to let people know maybe how many people were really getting hit. But Fox 25, they had like 40 KIA. And that's a whole bunch of guys when you're dealing with a 135-man company. You're losing, you're losing that many people, you know. Um, and then we still weren't separated. We couldn't separate from them. They were so close. We finally
The NVA,
separated.
you're intermingled. The Marines and the NVA are all intermingled.
There was some separation, but not much.
Okay.
When Mike and Kilo came in, there was a little separation, but it still wasn't enough. You're not going to be able to go and drop 500-pound bombs between us because there's no room to squeeze it in there. but that was, yeah, and that kept up. And I think the other companies who were in it too, there was a number of companies. I know Kilo and Mike, they were using, bayonets and stuff like that. Um,
Now
so
through this fight for you, was your M16 all you needed?
was it all I needed?
Yeah, what did your M16 get you through this fight, or did you have to rely on other weapons that you carried?
I used this and other stuff, other stuff. Basically, just knives. I got my e-tool out. I don't know if I can't recall if I ever got to use it. That was almost better than a bayonet, though.
Mm.
Because it's so sharp and it's on like a baseball bat.